All right, it should be live. Had some stream difficulties here. Let me see if people hop in the stream now. Let's see here. Oh, I am private. What am I doing? All right, we should be live now and waiting for folks to get in here. Sorry about the difficulties, guys. Had to had to end that other streaming. Come on, this one for whatever reason it wasn't working. But what is going on, guys? Ain't really leave, but I'm back because it feels like I haven't done a live stream in a long time. And it was way overdue. What's going on, guys? I see everybody in the comments. Midway Cards, what's up? Derek, what's up? Frank Levante, Dave, Peyton, Retro, Diego, Nino, Cordero, Jarrett, Gamer. I'm trying to name everybody I see on here. What's going on? Um, Long overdue live stream for you guys. So it was just unacceptable. It had been way too long to not stream and not do a Q&A. So that's what I'm here to do. And yeah, smash that thumbs up, the likes. So right now, everybody's asking me what's good. Right now, I'm just trying to grind out as much content as possible. It's crazy because the season, the Bears' actual season, wasn't even as busy as I am right now with the off season because that's really our season, right? For us, it's really now our season starts because this is Ryan Poles building the Bears going into this offseason with the most cap space with the number one pick. Like, this is our season. What we just had in the regular season, that was not our season. This is our season. So it's going to be a ton of content. Let me just tell you guys what's coming up, right? I have so many videos out on potential rumors. Hint, hint, I just recorded a DeAndre Hopkins rumor video. He reportedly wants out of Arizona and talking about if I think the Bears should go after him. We're going to be talking about the playoffs as well. I saw somebody in here asking me, Tyler, who I got for the Super Bowl playoff video coming out this week. Sometime I'll post that for the wild card weekend, and then also my preview for the rest of the playoffs. And then, yeah, a bunch of draft content and so much other stuff. And of course, can't forget the Bulls videos as well for you guys. So with that being said, it's a Q&A. Go ahead and ask your questions here, man. And I'm going to try to knock out as many as I can. And of course, super chat, the way to go if you guys want to get your question answered for sure. So I'll try to go in the order that I see here. Who do I have for the Super Bowl, Tyler? You got to wait this week for me to record my video. But since you guys joined the live, I'll tell you guys my wild card picks that I'm leaning towards right now. Again, I haven't finalized them, but this is what I'm leaning towards as I look at it right now. So Seahawks, Niners. I think I'm leaning towards the Niners. It's a 10-point spread, and even with Brock Purdy, I think that they should be able to pull that off. Whether or not they cover the spread, I don't know. I'll just give you the straight up money line winners. Chargers, Jaguars. I'm leaning Chargers. Dolphins, Bills. I'm leaning Bills. Giants, Vikings. Man, don't want to pick the Vikings, but I think I'm leaning towards them. Ravens, Bengals, give me the Bengals, and then Cowboys, Bucks. This might be my only upset. I think I'll take the Bucks. I just don't trust the Cowboys. But again, I'll post that in with the details in another video. Saquon Barkley trade. Cordero Wolves ask why. Giants had a fantastic season. They're not trading Saquon, and I don't want Saquon either. Peyton trade for Hopkins. Peyton, you read my mind. I just made a video about that, about the potential of trading for DeAndre Hopkins, and I'll give you guys a little preview of what I talked about. If it is the right price, I am A-okay trading for DeAndre Hopkins. Keep in mind, I said price. If we have to give up a first round pick, if we have to give up a high second, like I don't think I want to do that. But if it's a third, we can talk about it. We can talk about it. And Hopkins is 30. He's got 2 years left on his deal. The Cardinals are trying to get rid of him, so they might give him to us on a discount. So I do want to trade for DeAndre Hopkins, but only for the right price. And I got to tell you this much. It's going to be very hard to find a bona fide wide receiver one in free agency there because there's none available. But even through trade, right? Like you have to find the AJ Browns, the Tyreek Hills, the Devontae Adams. Like they don't come around very often. Last offseason was an anomaly. So will it happen again? I don't know. Hopkins looks to me like the most surest deal. If not, obviously you got the draft. But yeah, go ahead and call the Cardinals and see what it takes. Cedric Wilson, what's your take on Roquan's new deal with the Ravens? I'm happy for Roquan, man. I'm happy for Roquan. He deserved to get paid. He's an absolute beast. It's just that it was the wrong timing for him with the Bears. The Bears were going into a rebuild, and Roquan's talking about him, or Roquan's a player who's on the upswing in terms of in his prime, and he's trying to contribute to a winning team. That's what he's going to get a chance to do now with the Ravens. And he's been a beast. The Ravens defense completely turned around after they acquired Roquan Smith. So happy for Roquan. He represented himself, did it without an agent. That's a big deal. Just call me ID. Do you think the Bears can trade back to 2 and then to number 4? I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I want them to. I want to get as many draft picks as possible. Trade back down to 2, trade back down to 4, like trade down as much as possible. I will say this. I don't want to get out of the top 10. Ideally, stay in the top 10 is what you want to do, because then at that point the talent level drops. But let me tell you what I think happens. I think Ryan Poles is going to stay in the top 5, potentially top 4, so he can take Carter or the other player at that 4 spot. And really, that's what I think happens. He ends up taking him, and then he's got a boatload of picks that he can use in the second round. Right, Carter Anderson. The Gamer TV. How do you feel about DeMar DeRozan's injury? I don't know too much about it. I know it was a groin pull. That's what DeMar told Billy Donovan after the game. I don't think it's a long-term injury. I think at worst he's going to be probably out maybe a couple of games, but nothing long-term. All right, let me go through these questions a little quicker because I'm getting a lot of them. What's your dream Bears offseason? Paleo ask. Dream Bears offseason is we get DeAndre Hopkins on a discount. We shore up the offensive line. We trade down to like the 4-5 spot, and we're able to get one of those game-changing defensive players. And offensive line is addressed. We get our number 1 receiver. We get a generational defensive player. And yeah, that would be a great start to a dream off season for the Bears. Darnell, I think they're just going to trade back to 4 potentially. Yeah, definitely. Some of you guys are saying don't drop that low. Look, I'm just saying this. One player, unless it's Aaron Donald or JJ Watt level, isn't going to change your entire defense. It could, but again, it has to be that level of player. And so you've got a lot of holes to fill up. So that's why I'm saying, like, oh man, putting all your eggs in one basket on one player. Don't know how I feel about that. How many times are you drafting down in the first round? I wouldn't mind trading down, I think you mean. I wouldn't mind trading down twice. Kendall Riviera, who's your Super Bowl matchup? You will have to wait and find out. I'll post a video this week. I see a definite trade down. What are your thoughts, Philip Palmisano? Yes, I do. I see an absolute trade down. If Ryan Poles does not trade down and takes a quarterback or a defensive player at the number 1 selection, that is a fireable offense. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but it actually is. Like, you can get a historic haul. Folks, go look up the RG3 trade. Go look up what the Redskins gave up to the Rams in that trade. It was ridiculous. You can literally set up your franchise for the next 5 years by trading down. That's why I'm saying it is literally a fireable offense if you do not trade down. Ryan Poles needs to trade down. Michael Boston, do you want mostly offensive linemen in the draft after trading down? Yes. O line, D line, right? O line, D line, in that order, and then a little bit of a notch below wide receiver. O line, D line, wide receiver. Then there's other positions, but those are my top three. Mock draft coming, Mike. It's coming. Team Pookie Nation, how about Josh Jacobs? Why are you guys throwing out these running backs at me? Look, Ryan Poles talked about this. I got to make a video about this too. He talked about wanting Monty back. We could bring him back, right? Like, and we have Khalil Herbert. Like, I'm not paying running backs. I'm sorry. Like, we have all this money. We got all these holes. Like, let's hold off. We don't need running backs. Um, Jeremiah, did you see the relieving news that Poles said he'd need to be blown away to make the decision to move on from JF1? Yes, I saw that. A lot of people are freaking out because he said that, you know, I basically saw a report right after that tweet came out about Ryan Poles saying that. I saw a report saying that Ryan Poles doesn't close door on trading up. Excuse me, Ryan Poles doesn't close door on taking quarterback at number one. Folks, that's not what he said. That's the definition of clickbait. He said he'd have to be blown away to take a quarterback at one. You know how I just said it would be a fireable offense to take a quarterback at one? You still want to make teams believe that so that your trade value can go up, right? If Ryan Poles straight up says we're not taking quarterback, like, he loses the leverage. He needs to act like he might think about it, but not actually pull the trigger and have all these teams scrambling like, oh my God, what if they actually do it? So it's chess, not checkers. I'm okay with Ryan Poles saying that. He's not going to take a quarterback. I fully believe that. Bolt Hazard, DK Metcalf trade. I don't see it happening. He just got extended. Lovey to Chicago, and I know a lot of people talked about this, but I'm sorry, I don't want Lovey Smith, even as a defensive coordinator. I'm good on Lovey Smith. I think the NFL's passed him by. You're the Bears GM. Who's your first pick in the draft? Depends on what pick I have. If I'm the Bears GM, if I'm Ryan Poles right now, that pick's getting traded. That pick's getting traded for a haul. Point blank, period. All right. Well, just lost a bunch of questions here. Should we sign and trade Monty since he doesn't want to be in Chicago? Retro Bowl career. Sure, but that doesn't really happen in the NFL a lot. More happens in the NBA. So I think if we lose Monty, we just straight up lose him. Let's see here. Need a star defensive lineman. Darnell, I agree. We do. Keep up the great job. Appreciate you, Bird. Maybe trade with the Packers. Trade with them for who? I don't know. XX 24-hour gaming. Just love watching your channel. Been watching for a couple of seasons now. Just want to say thanks for another great year covering the Bears. Appreciate you, man. I do it for you guys. Thank you so much for that. I think the Bears trade down. This is from Sal. I think Bears trade down, but to a team with a premium player that can contribute right away. That could potentially be the case. I saw a tweet or I don't know if it was on Instagram, somebody talking about, would you accept a trade from the Colts if they gave you the number 4 pick, like next year's first, next year's second, their own second this year, and like DeForest Buckner? Yeah, I'd do that. Sign me up. Impact player right away and draft picks. Yeah, I'll do that. So if that's the type of trade you're talking about, yeah. I missed the first 8 minutes live stream. With Poles draft offensive lineman first or defense? I think he would take at this point with the talent level in this draft defense first over offense, defensive lineman. But I wouldn't be surprised either way. Kendall Riviera, if the Bears don't trade down or draft a QB, I will be a Green Bay fan. Look, it will be a fireable offense if Ryan Poles does not trade down. That's all I got to say. How do you feel about Monty? I love Monty, man, but I've made a video about this and I'm sticking by it. I am just not in favor of paying running backs. If Monty wants to come back on a team-friendly deal, I'm good with it. But if he wants a boatload of money and he's looking to get paid, which he should be, by the way, he should be short careers for NFL running backs. If he's looking to get paid, sorry, got to let him walk. I got Herbert waiting in the wings. All right. Nonchalant STU54 Faiz, you won me a lot of money with this channel. Thanks, bro. Oh, I have. Appreciate that. Hopefully, with my picks and stuff. Honestly, I play like DFS, man. I do bets and whatnot. I'd love to even make another channel talking about just that if you guys are interested. Like I literally live, breathe sports all day long. Sir, bro, I love your channel. Keep up the great content. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Trade with Houston for number one, Colts for number two, take Will Anderson or Jalen Carter with four. Yeah, I do like that scenario, right? Like if you are able to trade down but stay in the top four, so you can take Carter or Anderson, that's fantastic because now you get all that draft capital. I'm just saying I need to be getting a haul. We're talking about the number one overall pick. Why don't you do play by play? That's something I'm looking into for next season. Going live during Bears games. It's just a time thing, guys. Right, 3 hours, and I don't know if I'm entertaining for all 3 hours. You guys probably don't want to just sit there and watch me watch the game, but I'm looking into it. What are the odds? Washington, let's go Payne, and we land him. Not so sure about that. Um, Texans trade Cooks 2023 second round pick, 2023 first round pick, Wicktown. I don't want Brandon Cooks. It's too old at this point. I'd like, and I say that, and I'm like looking to get DeAndre Hopkins, but Brandon Cooks literally is just, I don't know. I just don't. I don't think Brandon Cooks is like a bona fide number one receiver. Like DeAndre Hopkins is a bona fide number one receiver. That's how I feel about that. So yeah, like so much to look forward to here because we need a wide receiver one, right? We need a wide receiver one. We need the entire defensive line replaced. We need half the offensive line or almost all of it replaced. Like Ryan Poles has a lot of work to do in this draft. A lot of work to do. James is saying D Hop is washed at this point. So hear me out. I just recorded a video, so I have the numbers literally in my head. DeAndre Hopkins is not washed. He is older, yes, 30 years old, but he put up 717 yards in 9 games. He was suspended for the rest. If you extrapolate that out to a full 17-game season, that's like 1,400 yards. Oh, by the way, Kyler Murray was hurt. He was having guys like Colt McCoy and Trace McSorley throw to him. I'm not saying trade a first for Hopkins. He's not washed, though. Yeah, if I got oh my God, DeAndre Hopkins for a 5th-round pick, that is robbery if we got him for that. I think it would cost like at least a third, but I'm just saying, like, there is no shot he's washed right now. He could be washed in 2 years, but he's not. Philip Faiz, you mentioned wide receiver as third option in this draft. Who's your sleeper wideout in this draft? I don't have a sleeper right now. As we get closer to the draft, I'll be putting out a lot of mock drafts, but hear me out. If we don't get a wide receiver in free agency, like that's our number one receiver, then we're finding it through the draft, right? We're finding it through the draft. And you've seen recently, you don't have to have, a top 5 pick to get a Tyreek Hill type of player. Like, look at last year. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, like these guys are potential number one receivers. We could get that in the draft, and it would fit the timeline too. So I will let you guys know about my mock drafts, but yeah, definitely we could certainly get it in the draft. Our number one receiver. Let me see here. Levante, are these draft simulators right, or am I tripping? What are they saying? What are the draft simulators saying? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Caleb Williams or Justin Fields? Justin Fields. Look, I didn't want to do this, but if we're doing the whole if you guys want to know about the whole, should the Bears look to draft Bryce Young? First of all, that is so unfair to Justin Fields. You're literally going to surround this man with trash this past season, and then when you have the resources to put talent around him, you're going to go ahead and bail on him and trade him. And I'm sorry, Bryce Young is like one of the smallest quarterbacks in the history. Like he is not a Trevor Lawrence. Like if we are talking about like there was a generational guy in this draft like Trevor Lawrence or an Andrew Luck or something like that, fine. But that's not Bryce Young. No, no. Like it would be a fireable offense if Ryan Poles took a quarterback at number one. Justin Fields has all the talent in the world to be a franchise quarterback. And he showed you this year with literal garbage, no offense to the Bears players, literal garbage around him that he was still able to produce. Still able to produce. You got to give him that benefit of the doubt, and you got to surround him with more talent. I'm sorry. All right, a couple more here. I'll hang around for 5 more minutes. Let's see what else we got here. We should be aiming for D Hop or Devontae. Yeah, I'd love Devontae. I just don't know if he's going to leave, and don't know if Las Vegas will trade him. If O line is stacked, Justin's a top five QB next year. Oh my God. I can't even imagine how good Justin Fields would be with a stacked offensive line. Holy. I'm just imagining it, and yeah, that would be a problem. Would you trade the picks to Seattle for DK Metcalf in picks? DK Metcalf, I don't think will be traded. He just got extended. D Hop for a fourth if we eat the contract. Sign me up. I'm taking that all day. After we take Anderson and Carter, do you think we can get JSN with another pick in the first round that we can get in trade? Potentially, yeah. I don't see why not. Yeah, chances of the Bears trading Justin, big fat zero. I'm telling you. I'm going to make a video about this too because this is ridiculous. I saw it on Get Up too. Mike Tannenbaum talking about the Bears should trade Justin Fields and draft Bryce Young. God. Like sometimes I like to believe the guys on TV are actually talking about things they believe in, but sometimes it just feels so forced and so clickbaity. Like I don't know if the rest of the NFL saw the Bears up close like we did because we're Bears fans, but if you had your young quarterback and his weapons, his top weapons, and this is a true story, right? At one point, were Dante Pettis and Equinemius St. Brown, and his offensive line was like dead last or a bottom five unit. You would think like he's not going to literally have any shot to succeed, but yet Justin Fields had a fantastic season. I don't get it. Just don't get it. Yeah, the people on TV are helping the Bears increase that number one pick stock. Sure. You know what? That I'm gonna look at it like that, Devin. Thank you for that. Everyone should be talking about this actually because it will help drive our trade value up. That will help drive our trade value up. Philip asked wide receiver we're trading for. I threw a couple names out. Look, here's my list. If we're not talking free agency, we're not talking draft. Look and see if Devontae Adams is available. He's probably not, but it doesn't hurt to ask. We already talked about DeAndre Hopkins. He is available. See what the asking price is. Anything lower than a third, we can talk. After that, call Cincinnati after they get eliminated, of course, in the playoffs. If they get eliminated, see if they're willing to trade away T. Higgins, right? Can they pay everybody? Can they pay Jamar Chase? Can they pay T? Like they might have to make some moves. Look to see. After this season, is Tom Brady retiring? Wait till the Bucks get eliminated if they do, and see if Mike Evans is available. Like these are the type of guys talking about number one receivers. DJ Moore is another guy. Number one type receivers, though he'd be a little less on my list, that you want to see if they're available. Ryan Poles should be working the phones all summer long. See who's available. You need a guy that will take Justin Fields' game to the next level. Look at what Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle did to Tua. Look at what they did. They turned Tua into like a potential top 7, 10 quarterback. Numbers wise, yeah. Look at what Stephon Diggs did to Josh Allen. Look what um, you know you got from AJ Brown doing to Jalen Hurts. Like that's the perfect example. AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. Like you need number one receivers. Yeah, I'd be happy with any of them. T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Devontae, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, in the draft too, you can look at Hyatt. Like you need a number one receiver. And look, folks, this does not mean I don't believe in Chase Claypool. I do believe in Chase Claypool. It's just that Chase Claypool more of a number two than a number one. So our group should be our number one receiver, Claypool, excuse me, Mooney, then Claypool, or either or you can interchange them. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at. So let me know what you guys think about that. But I'm gonna head on out of here. Appreciate you guys for hopping in. But I will do more live streams. I promise. I promise. I promise. Thank you so much for the support. I will talk to you guys later.